Welcome to Tete, a place for hope, truth, and healing. And today we're going to talk about, obviously, the shooting that happened in New York. Again, a tragedy. Every time we see those kind of things happening, I'm sure we're all wondering, when will it stop? When will something happen where these type of things kind of ameliorate? They get better. We're not shooting people senselessly like that, you know? So without further ado, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm going to play it, and then I have a different angle to what I think is going on, a broader picture. So let's watch a video, and then we can come back and then talk about it later.
City, a gunman captured right there on surveillance images. This gunman appearing, Giovanna, to hold what appears to be maybe an assault rifle. It is believed that this individual has now committed suicide inside of a building along Park Avenue, in between Park Avenue and Lexington, a facility that actually houses some of the country's top financial firms and the NFL. We do believe there are additionally two more victims, potentially a police officer that was injured in this shooting.
Yes, and you're looking right now at live pictures from the ground. Again, this is happening in Manhattan, in New York City, and we will continue to follow the developments and bring you any new information as it comes into our news.
It all breaking within the past hour or so, but again, that image of the suspect.
All right, so obviously, again, it's a tragedy, and our hearts and prayers go out to the ones who were affected by this senseless shooting. So as we're watching this, and we know that CTE is involved, and the killer, used to be played football in high school. For whatever reason, for what we know now, we don't have all the information, but he for sure had some sort of gripe against the NFL for perhaps not taking action towards looking out for athletes or whatever. And for me, whenever those kind of shootings happen, it's important to understand why they happen. I get that, but for me, anything that could have caused them, it's very rarely that the excuses will make up for the loss of innocent people. It's almost never, really. I can't think of one right now on the spot where something happened. Let's just take the Mangione shooting. It doesn't matter how awful the healthcare system is, and I would be willing to guess everybody has a story to tell as far as to how awful it is that the well, not the healthcare, like the insurance system, the health insurance system is, that does not give you the permission to go gun down people who are involved or whatever. It will never be good enough for that. Now let's go back to this New York shooting. We know that CTE is involved, so I did a little digging as to how many deaths has there been since this whole CTE thing become more prevalent, where people are talking about it more. We've known about it. We've been science or the medical system has enlightened us with what is involved when it comes to playing physical sports such as football, and the concussions and everything that you endure while playing that game. This is what could happen to CTE. So I was looking. So in 2012, so there was one incident where there was one victim and the perpetrator, the person committing the shooting. So in 2021, 6 victims plus the person. So I believe his name was Philip Adams. And they determined there was CTE involved, and it was at stage 2, I believe. And then I believe what we have going on now, Shane, Devon, Tamora, 4 victims, and plus himself. So the point that I'm trying to make is, I don't think, personally, again, we know very little, but from my perspective, I don't think it's just the CTE, right? I don't think it's a matter of just CTE just running rampant, and we should expect a lot more of this based off of CTE. Why do I say that? It's because when I look at this right here, in 2012, there was one. And then you fast forward to 2021, and then we have what just happened here yesterday. So I think while CTE could be a factor, perhaps is a factor, I think again, the bigger problem, and I harp on this a lot, the bigger problem is not just CTE. It's not just mental illness. It's not just that. I think the bigger problem is, you can also add those to it, but the bigger problem, I believe, it's the lack of value for human life. And I know this is very broad, but bear with me. You got to ask yourself this question. How many people do you know suffering from mental illness that you've known since you've been alive that never even thought about committing this kind of heinous crime? And for the amount of people that we have with mental illness, we should see a lot more of this stuff. God forbid, right? So for me, when I look at how long the NFL's been around and how long people have been getting hit, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's been suicides and stuff like that and related to CTE, but not people committing crimes on innocent people, and CTE is involved, and that's the cause of it. So I think it's more than that. It's deeply rooted, where if you don't have any regards for human life, then mental illness become the main factor. But I think if we have a higher regard for human life, when we see somebody, we don't just look at him as somebody. We look at him as a son, a daughter, a mother, a husband, a spouse. We kind of add more labels that make him more human. I think it would be a little bit harder for somebody to just pick up a gun, just walk up with a rifle and start shooting innocent people, you know? And yes, while mental illness is a thing, and I think the NFL should be doing something about CTE, and I'm sure that they're doing stuff. It might not be fast enough. I know they were designing different helmets to help the hits and stuff like I get it. And it's not just the NFL that you get hit in the head. There are different sports like boxing, any pugilistic type of sports. You get really hard hits, and that could cause CTE. But at the end of the day, I would be willing to bet there are many, many, many more athletes with CTE, but will never just pick up weapons and go shoot innocent people. And again, the other point is the idea of just like taking matter into your own hand. So this is 2025, and we've been seeing a lot of vigilante type of actions, and we got to figure out a way to, again, be better is very broad, but figure out a way to just ask yourself this question. That's a question that I ask myself all the time. What can I do to help? And my pastor usually, a lot of times, talks about being somebody, right? And what he means by that is, before you start pointing the finger, saying like, this needs done, who's doing this, somebody should have done that, I wonder when they're going to do that. How about you start pointing the finger at you, at being that somebody to do something? And I might not know exactly what you need to do at the moment to fix the problem, or a problem like this, to stop somebody from pick up arms and shoot people. Maybe there should be more awareness of whatever. All those things can help. But within your own circle, within your own life, within your own environment, what can I do to help? Perhaps is knowing somebody like this guy, struggling with some sort of mental illness, struggling with some deep hatred for, I don't know, the NFL headquarters for not doing enough, knowing somebody like Mangione, knowing like what he went through as far as his medical record and what he would want to do. Again, it's not easy. You might not know that. You might never know that. And we might never be able to stop Mangione. We would have never been able to stop him or this guy. But I'm saying is at least making the effort to reach out to people, to see where they're at, to see what they're dealing with, to treat people a little bit better all around. Perhaps the kindness, the sensitivity, the wherewithal would, I don't know, perhaps do something. I don't have the answers, and I'm sure you don't either. But the idea would just sit around, and every day or every other day we're just watching headlines like this, and people are just dying for no reason. It's crazy, because the way life is, like, you can just look at the news and say like, hey, wow, this is what's happening in New York, and I live on the other side of the country. This is what's happening in Philadelphia, and I live on the other side of the country. This is what's happening in Miami, but I live 200 miles away from there. Where I'm at, I'm good. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. You're not good because this is the same country. This is the same world that we live in. Chances are you're going to need to go to one of those places one day. And this could happen to you, God forbid. So I'm just a big proponent of just encouraging people to be better, to do better. And whatever you can, whatever spectrum or however much you can, as opposed to just sit oddly by doing nothing, just kind of watch it happen, you know? And I don't know. Comment below. Let me know what you think, because I don't have the answer. Again, I'm not saying you do, but there's one thing that we do have is what we have at this moment. We have the ability to do good. We have the ability to switch things around. We have the ability to treat people better. We have the ability to make people feel like life is worth living. We have the ability to make someone's day, with a smile, with just holding the door open, buying somebody a meal, buying somebody something that you feel like they need, being inquisitive, just invest in people's lives. That we can do. You might not be able to just go in and do a whole bunch of research trying to figure out exactly what could cause somebody to do something like that. But there are a lot of things we can do. And if we just not just sit around and keep pointing fingers and saying, like, when is somebody going to do that? When is the government going to do that? When this is going to happen? Well, I believe, again, I'm being optimistic, something will change. Our lifestyle will ameliorate to a certain extent where we don't see those kind of things happening every day. Perhaps. I don't know. But it can't hurt to do good. It can't hurt to just step out of your comfort zone and do a little bit better. It can't hurt to invest a little bit more in your neighbor's life. Perhaps that neighbor had been, this guy, for example, maybe he was struggling with a lot of stuff. His neighbor could have done something. And again, I'm not trying to put the responsibility on anybody. It's at the end of the day, he's responsible for all those lives that he just took. For everything, the chaos, the heartache, the stress, he's responsible for it. But I'm saying, as we live in this world, as we live in America, as we live in our neighborhood, in our society, we kind of, this whole thing, this train doesn't keep moving by itself, and all of a sudden everything is good and you just along for the ride. There is something you can do. It might be very, very minute, but there's something you can do in order to see this world better tomorrow, in order to take a deep breath and just, okay, the next generation is going to be better. My kids will be better off. We have to do something. Again, I don't know what it is. Just search deep within yourself, find out what that is, and do it. Whatever you think will make the world a better place. Whether it's just, I don't know, praying. Praying is a huge, huge one. And you can start with that. It doesn't take anything. It doesn't take anything. You just pray, right? And then other than that, just get involved in people's lives. Get involved in the community, and don't just sit around and just wait for something to happen. You don't know what people are going through. And crazy enough, when you step out, you start helping people and start being invested in people, it reciprocates. One day you might need them. They come to help you. So again, I'm very, very saddened by the situation and everything that happened with those people. It's sad that we have to live a life where we never know when that's going to happen. It could happen to us at any day. That's a very tough way to live, but that's where we are. I'm under no impression that this couldn't happen here. This couldn't happen here. From gang violence to this kind of stuff, it's just happening everywhere, right? But we got to do our little part. I don't know what it is. Dig deep within yourself. You'll find at least one thing to do. Random acts of kindness. I think that's what they call it. Let's start with that. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace.